Okay, so for all of you guys that are getting going, everyone on here is kind of in the same position, right? Who on here has already started the onboarding process, but is not technically fully active yet, meaning their license is not live at eXp? Give me a quick, just so I can know where you're at. So Dylan, Renee, Zahor, Brian, Cody, I know where you're at. Okay, does that mean the rest of you guys are fully live with eXp? Like your accounts have started?
Yes.
Yannick, you've started. Hank, I know you. David, your accounts are live and started?
No, it's not. I mean, I'm just here to see.
Starting the initial process. Okay, Claudia, I see your hand raised. I don't know if that's for this question or from before. Are you actually live? Yes, maybe no. And then Amardeep, I know that you're live because I saw you pop up. So here's kind of where we're at. And this is very typical in these sessions. Okay. So what I do every single Tuesday is I'm going to walk you guys through top to bottom, a more simplified, but very direct what you need to be set up. Because here's reality. When you change companies, let alone into this very large company that eXp is, let alone it's a virtual company, right? It's in the metaverse. It is different, right? So it's already overwhelming. There's already a lot of changes going on. It's very normal that you guys will go through this. I'm going to do a 3-part series with you. Okay. This is technically part 1. Those of you that are fully live, you can do all the stuff we talk about today. Okay. For those of you that are not live, and you'll be live later today, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, this will give you a walkthrough of exactly what to expect of kind of half the stuff you can go set up today and tomorrow, and the other stuff you can set up the day that you activate with eXp. Okay. Because here's what happens as we start to onboard you guys, we already start to plug you in behind the scenes with co-founders. Okay. And I'm going to highlight like, what is the difference, right? But we start to plug you in behind the scenes. There's a lot of training you can access. There's a lot of setup you can access. But obviously, until your license activates with eXp, all of your eXp accounts will not start yet until that happens. Okay. So for those of you that have not yet flipped live, I'm going to kind of walk you through exactly what to expect. Now, my objective of while you're here is this. You're going to flip live, and there's this giant, massive company, resources, this whole virtual world. There's all this stuff kind of set on top of you, right? It's a lot. I've got from top producers on here selling a lot of homes to people just getting started in the business. Okay. I've transitioned over 2,000 agents in my career. Okay. I know what you guys deal with. I know what questions you're going to have. I know all the little nitty gritty things that are going to come about. So my objective of what you guys go through with me is I'm going to walk you through top to bottom what you need to know. Okay. Where you go to for what, kind of what you need today to keep your business running forward smoothly. Does that make sense? Because there's so much going on. I want to simplify it for you. So I don't care if you're selling 10 homes right now or 100, it's just business as normal. Then we can work on growth. So this is a 3-part series. Today, I'm going to do kind of the initial full, it's almost like the checklist of getting your ducks in a row, right? Like, what do I need to know? Not here's 150 things thrown at you. What do I need to know? Where do I need to go to? And I'm going to literally give you like 10 things you need to be logged into after today and this week, right? Here's what you need to have access to, business as normal, and where do I go? Okay. Then tomorrow, next week, I'm going to walk you through the main platforms you have access to and what your resources are, what you're going to be doing today. Not one day if I wanted to do this, like what are you going to be doing today? Okay. And then the following week, I'm going to walk you through your that you have with KV Core, not how to use KV Core, because maybe some of you guys won't even use it to that capacity, but what are the marketing tools you're going to use right now in your deals with your business, with your past client, on your next listing appointment, for lead generation? Like, what are the, does that make sense? Because there's all the training in the world out there for other stuff to work on, other cool things you can bolt on, learning how to do this and that. I'm going to show you what's going to give you resources to run your business today. That is the objective. And it is broken up into a 3-part series. Most people will go through it more than once, because even what you guys do with me today, those of you that are about to be live, hi, Carl. Those of you that are about to be live, right? You're follow this checklist hopefully and write down what I tell you to write down. But you only still grasp even what you resonate with at the moment. So a lot of people will come through again, just as an FYI. People will come through this 2-3 times. Once you're fully up and running, then you don't need this session anymore. And then we can just work on growth in your business. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, so I'm going to do a couple housekeeping items, then I'm going to share screens and we're going to jump right in. So who on here is not part of the co-founders Facebook group already? Who is not?
I believe I'm not a member yet.
Okay, so these are just little things. Bear with me, guys, because I need to get everyone set up here. So I'm going to drop this link in the chat. So anyone that is not already in our private group with us, because this is where we update, showcase, announce, talk about everything, go ahead and click that link, request to join, then I can accept you today, okay? Who on here does not have their logins to cofoundersgroup.com? Does not have their logins, actual logins to the website. So Zahur, you don't have yours yet? Zohar, did you already start the process of like that Google sheet, like the step one? Did you already start all of that or no?
I have not started yet, right?
If you'll actually fill out step one, which is simply a Google form, where it's basically sending me and my onboarding concierge your basic information, you'll get all of that today. Okay.
Where can I get that Google form?
You know the email that I sent you, the application and transfer process?
Oh, before, like you sent me everything. Okay.
Even just going to cofoundergroup.com. So most everyone on here should have already done this, but just as an FYI, let me share screens. So if you go to cofoundersgroup.com, and basically step one takes you to this main page, okay? And you're going to scroll all the way down to onboarding and just do step one, okay? Really, you should do step one and steps two, but step one.
I think I have already done this, right? I have already done this, but I didn't get the login.
Okay, and so just to double check, who raised their hand and also said they don't have their logins to Co-Founders Group, meaning you can go here, log into.
I also did as well.
Carl, you don't have yours?
Yeah.
Anyone else? So just Zahura and Carl, or anyone else missing theirs? Yannick, do you already have yours?
I think I am. I'm
Do it
trying to
quick.
look at it right
So
now.
if you want to confirm, just search your emails right now.
Yes, I do.
It would have come from Blair, but the subject line would be Co-Founders Resource Platform. That would be the subject line that you would have received, and it's going to have your logins right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got mine then, yeah.
You got yours? Okay, so I'm just messaging my assistant right now. So she needs and or send co-founders logins to. So it's just Carl, Erickson. Let me scroll to you. Okay, so Carl Erickson and okay. The rest of you guys are in. Okay, these are your main items, and then for sounds like a bunch of you guys, you are already in, meaning you should have your logins to eXp, and I'll clarify some of that. So those of you coming on board over the next, couple of days know what to expect. So the other half of you guys won't have some of this stuff yet, but you can write down so that when you do get your logins with eXp, whether it's the next 24 hours, 48 hours, you'll know exactly what to run through. Okay. And all of this will be recorded. So what I'm going to walk you guys through is basically, I call it like the getting started fundamentals, because this is session one. How do I get set up to be operational? Okay, so I can just be running forward after today. And I'm going to give you guys also a few things before we end today, because some of you guys will be on like the hurry up plan, if that makes sense. And some of you guys, it'll take a little bit longer. And so you can kind of run forward with things as fast as you need to, but it all starts with this session and just getting everything plugged in. So give me one sec here. I want to pull this up. So to highlight this before I log in, there's two layers kind of to what you guys are dealing with, right? And I want to just emphasize this because people will get confused, right? Like I had my own brokerage for many, many years. So agents in my local marketplace or agents that maybe used to work with me back in the day know me in that role, right? So here's the difference. eXp is the brokerage that we all hang our license at, right? So eXp has it's basically your brokerage hub. So this is from compliance, right? Getting paid, even tech support, all of your transactions being run through, everything here is in your hub, your actual designated broker and broker team, all of that's up here on the brokerage level. And I'm going to talk about how you access all of that, what you do with it, who you communicate with, all of that fun stuff, okay? And then you have this entire other layer, which is called co-founders, which is our network. Everyone understands the differences, right? So like, I'm not your broker. I always have to emphasize that because I think people get confused. So here's the brokerage we work for. Co-founders is an entire layer of a network of resources, coaches, systems, staff that's all provided to you guys in addition to everything else inside of eXp. Okay, so it's an entire layer of resources. I'm going to kind of walk you guys through both, just of what will make sense and what you guys need to be using right now. Okay, so the first things I want to touch on just to get people going. So I should have the rest of you guys added into the Facebook group. Zohar and Carl, you guys will, I have her either resending or creating your co-founders accounts. So by the end of this session, guys, if you're missing anything, just let me know. You'll have those. Couple other housekeeping items actually before I go into it. Let me share my screen again. So you guys can see my screen right here, right? This is just my Google Share calendar of the co-founders. Can you guys see this? So just so you guys know what this is a digital Google Calendar, okay? It syncs best with a Gmail account. This is kind of the part of the process of getting you set up. This is the reason you want this, right? Because I can go to my calendar, which looks really crazy, right? So over here on the left, if you guys are used to this, right? It's all it's going to do is going to add another calendar option, which is co-founders group training calendar. Okay, that's all it is. So you can access this now from your phone or your desktop. And here's what's cool is no matter what you're doing, whether it's the Breakfast Club, whether it's the weekly masterclass, whatever you're participating in, the link and everything's right here. Okay. So you don't have to be like scrounging, even though we know we're working with real estate agents. So it's posted every day in the chats. It's posted on the Facebook group. It's emailed out weekly. You guys all have this digital access, so you can access the links anywhere, anytime. Okay. Now there's a lot that we do, as you guys can see, there's 24 hours work. You don't need to know the hyper details here right now. What I want to be glue for everyone that you're aware of from this week forward, okay? Because we're going to dig in with you guys individually one-on-one. So I don't know, Dylan, what you're looking to do with your business yet. We'll talk about that, right? Renee, we'll talk about that. Carl, we'll talk about that, right? That's going to be something we do once we get you set up. We do what's called a launch call with every one of you guys individually. So we know where you're at with your business, where you want to go. We can create alignment with you with all the different resources and systems and or training and systems that we run that make sense for you. Okay. Because we're running digital stuff, buyer stuff, seller stuff, accountability stuff, all sorts of stuff. It's not going to be universal for everyone. Make sense? But there are two things that I would have all of you guys put on your schedule moving forward that should be fairly universal, okay? The main one right here is going to be the masterclass. Now, keep in mind, I'm in my Arizona house today. So what you're seeing on time-wise is you're seeing Arizona is the only state that doesn't change during daylight savings. So I'm in a weird time zone right now because daylight savings just happened. So when it says noon for me, that's 11 a.m. Pacific, okay? Just so you guys know what you're looking at on my calendar here. I talk a lot in Pacific Standard Time, but I've got people from East Coast to West Coast, okay? So this masterclass, okay, what this is for the couple of you guys that we're already on is this is every single week. We are talking about current day, where is the market at, what is happening, updates, what are tactical things you can put into your business to close more deals. We bring in a lot of top producers, we bring in guests, we are coaching to the conversation of the market changed. Now, how are we pricing properties, right? How are we talking to buyers? How are we talking to sellers? How are we putting deals together? What's happening today? What's currently happening? What's happening next week? We are always giving you guys relevant information to move your business forward. This is kind of like a constant glue to everything. This is something that should be a constant on all of your guys' schedules forever, right? Tuesdays at whatever time zone you're in, this should be blocked out that you can jump on, okay? And I'll show you where we record all this stuff. Everything we do is live. Okay, and interactive, and then we record everything. I'll show you guys that. Okay, but this should be a glue on your guys' schedule. Outside of that, who on here has already checked out the Breakfast Club?
I have, yeah.
Bunch of you guys. Now, I will say this, it won't necessarily be for everybody. Okay, there's going to be some of you that are like, I don't want anything to do with this. Okay, but for the majority of you guys, you're going to be looking at how do I convert more, generate more business, and how do I convert more business, right? This is what we work on every single day on the Breakfast Club. It is at 7:30 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. So it's 10:30 Eastern. Stay tuned, guys, for on the Eastern time zone, because we will be adding Eastern time zone one for 7:30 Eastern. And so you kind of take your pick, I guess, depending on where everybody lives, right? But this is a big pulse for everybody where we're helping agents put deals together and make money right now. So for a lot of you guys, and if you haven't been on here yet, check this out, okay? But that would, for me, to you guys, at least right now to get going before we go digging deeper with you, is I would plug in the Breakfast Club into your schedule and just this master's class. Once we meet with you, we can talk about what we're doing on the rev share side, building your team, your digital marketing and lead gen strategies, your buyer systems, your seller systems, accountability. We'll plug in with you what makes sense for your world. Does anyone have questions on that? No. Sound good? Okay, so just so I can invite, because some people get stuck on like, how do I get access to this? If you guys will put in the chat your Gmail account, okay, or whatever personal account you use, but again, Gmail always syncs the best, okay, because this is a Gmail calendar. Drop your Gmail into the chat here, and by the time we're done, I'll do a manual invite out to all of you guys, so you'll have this today, okay, and you'll be able to be linked to everything. We do manually send out the email that has all of this in a list every single Monday as well, but just drop everything into the chat, okay? All right, so I talk fast. I'm going to go over a lot of information. So this is just kind of the foundation to what you guys need, okay? So before I jump into enterprise, let's pop over here. So I know a few of you have already started on this. When I go to CoFounders, guys, I'm not going to teach you right now all the stuff that goes on in here, okay? This is just your network resource platform. This is outside of eXp, okay? And I just want to guide you to help you get up and running outside of this live session you're going to do with me, okay? I'm going to cover the other resources that are built in here next week. For now, what I want everyone to get started on immediately, okay, is one, make sure you can log in. So you're going to log into this open forum platform. You're going to go to your members login, and you're going to log in with your credentials that you get. There's a lot of stuff, guys, that you're going to have access to. We will talk about that next week. That doesn't matter right now. Okay. What matters is all I want all of you to do is jump here to the onboarding launch. Who has already started on this process? Anyone on here who's already started on this onboarding launch, or is nobody yet?
I started on it, Michelle. I'm almost done.
Renee, okay. I saw some stuff pop up from you, and I was like, I think Renee's already working on it. Anyone else on here already jump into the onboarding?
I've done quite a bit. Hank has.
Hank, you has? Okay, perfect. So the majority of you guys have probably not seen this yet, right? So here's what's cool is bring your questions to me. You guys know how to reach me individually. Come to this session, even if, so Renee, as an example, you've already gone through the 3 sessions, you're already up and running. If you've got one, you know what, you can just call me, right? But if you've got questions, guys, what I usually will do, you guys are just kind of all brand new at the same time, okay? But like next week, you'll hear me start the class this way because you'll see people that have already been in the system for a handful of weeks. And I always start out who has questions first, because these questions you guys all learn from each other. And I usually spend the first 5-10 minutes just answering questions. So even after you guys go through all these trainings, Renee, you can just pop on and be like, can you, like, how do I do this? Or I'm stuck here, or did I miss something? And I'll address that up front, and then you can jump off. Like, you don't have to go through the training again. Does that make sense? So just use this onboarding session as a resource to you, and the other people learn from you guys asking questions. Because otherwise right now, no one knows what to ask. You guys are all new. So I'm very thorough because I've done this a lot. Okay. So log into your members access. In addition to these live sessions, I've created a walkthrough to make this very easy. It's like going through a checklist, okay? So click on the blue link for onboarding, and you're literally just going to go top to bottom, okay? Step 1, do this, okay? Who's already got all their marketing materials created from Michael? Very few of you guys. So just so you know, we have an internal graphics designer that's built in on staff for you through CoFounders, but he needs, like Renee, I saw you sent that in, I think like yesterday or today, right? He needs your headshot and your basic information. And guess what he does? He creates your signs, your business cards, your email signatures, your announcement templates, your entire buyer's presentation, your seller presentation. All of this is done by default, guys. And then he can create your brands, your logo, all of your custom marketing materials. You might say, wow, this is amazing. Carl, we create that for you by default because you're at a new company with a lot of resources and power. So you could walk out on a listing appointment tomorrow and have everything you need, right? It's going to be different because you're at a new company, but you're going to have all the information you need, okay? And though we're going to teach you how to leverage that, from there, you can customize it, you can tweak it, you can remove stuff, you can add stuff, you can give him, okay, your original, maybe stuff you're already using right now, and have him just rebrand it to you here at your new company. Does that make sense, guys? That's all part of this process. This is a built-in free resource to you, but none of you guys even know what I'm talking about yet because you haven't followed this step, right? So you got to send your headshot. He needs to know what like email address you want on your marketing materials, all of that. He creates all of this for you by default and then can custom do anything that you want, all at no cost, okay? This is part of helping you guys get transitioned and up and running quickly. Follow the steps, okay? Same with getting plugged into our Facebook groups. It's all actually right here, right? So you just kind of follow the process, click the links. You guys are going to need to order business cards, signage, all that great stuff. Just follow the process. There's going to be a few things, Renee, that you probably might have run into where because you don't have your accounts with eXp yet, you can't do a couple of things. But besides that, you guys can start walking through this process. For some of you, this will take 2 days. Some of you, this will take a couple of weeks. Totally fine. You can self-pace your way through it. But there's a lot of information in here. And what you'll also see us do is, Renee, you'll be like, what's this daily tracking sheet that Cooley keeps talking to me about? Or the numbers analyzer, or the scripts, or this. And I'll be like, log in, go to step 5, right? Log in, go to step 9. So we can reference you to things that are really easy, that are right here, right in front of you. Okay. And just FYI, because Cooley will bring this up to you guys, the 2023 business plan is right here, the daily tracking sheets, the numbers analyzer. Some of this won't make sense for some of you guys, but like all this stuff's here that we work with you on. Okay. There's a ton of information. There's a ton of stuff that are bigger plays with eXp. Just take your time and work your way through it. The first 2/3 is like foundational, just checklist of getting set up. Does that make sense to everyone? So that's kind of your homework these next couple, probably the rest of this week, is just start working through that process. And this is the part of, I do this because otherwise you get up and running, you have no idea what you're missing, and you're kind of half lost to, okay, I've got all my ducks in a row. Okay. That's why I do all of this for you guys. And this is outside of eXp. This is me kind of helping you navigate it. Okay. Now, next thing I'm going to walk you through. This is what you need to have access to. So who on here already has their logins to expenterprise.com? Who does? Because I know some of you guys aren't live. So
Hank
Carl,
does.
Hank does. Who else? Who already has their logins to Enterprise? Yannick, do you have yours?
No, I do not.
You don't? Am I saying your name correctly, just so I'm not saying it wrong? Is it Yannick? Yannick. Okay. So you don't have yours yet. Have you received your, does your eXp email already work?
Yes, it does.
It does? Okay, then you should have your logins, and I'll walk you guys through this real quick. Amardeep, have you received or have you logged into this yet?
Yes.
You've already logged in? Okay. And Kevin, you're not live yet, right? Cody, I know you're not. So a handful of you guys are not. Okay, so here's what's important. I'm going to walk you through what Enterprise is. So even those of you guys that are probably going to activate over these next couple of days, okay, this will just give you a head start so you'll know exactly what to do, hit the ground running when this starts. I'm going to walk you through only 7 things that you need to know. So eXp Enterprise is the back office of eXp. This is not eXp World, right? You guys have all heard of the avatar world. We are not talking about that today, okay? This is your back office dashboard, with everything you need to know, okay? This is everything you're going to do, communicate. This is the stuff you're in on your day-to-day basis, like your email, like the MLS. Here's how you manage and use everything, okay? So I'm going to walk you through only what you need to know. I want you to write these 7 things down. And this is what you're going to make sure play-by-play are all set up the second you guys activate. For those of you that are live, you're going to want to go back through this recording and kind of play, pause, and just follow these steps to make sure you're in these accounts and fully operational, okay? Now, real quickly here for those of you guys, because people get confused on this, everyone will have a company email, okay? It's going to be first.last@exprealty.com, okay? So Renee, when you activate, the first thing that happens when your license activates is you're going to get a trigger with your email that you activate your email. It is an alias only, okay? eXp does not own your inbox. It's simply a company alias. So it's going to be first.last@exprealty.com. If you are not sure, so like Unique, if you don't know if it's set up, just send yourself a test email real quick. It's going to be first.last@exprealty.com. Okay. It forwards to whatever personal email address you kind of set all your stuff up with. And I'll show you guys. You already have that step?
Yeah.
Okay. For anyone who doesn't have that yet, that's how you test if your email's live and where it's going. And then I'll show you guys in a moment here where you can change that forwarding email. Okay. But you control your inbox. So whether and then you can send from your eXp if you want to, like I do, or it's just all controlled through your domain or your, Renee sells, right? I forget what your whole email is, Renee, but you have a whole professional real estate email, at Gmail that you use. That's what you're emailing from and you're controlling, and your eXp email will just be an email that's connected, right? That's all it is. Does that make sense to everybody? But that triggers everything else, because all of your eXp accounts, everything you use from SkySlope to your stock accounts to KV Core, everything we're going to talk about is all logged in with your eXp email address. It'll never be through your personal aliases, okay? So again, once you activate, you'll activate your email. How you know it's live is just send yourself a test email, okay? Then you're going to go to expenterprise.com. Again, this is your dashboard. We're going to simply log in. It's going to log in again through your eXp email. And you're going to be in your back office dashboard, okay? Now, there's a lot going on here, right? You see all these tiles, all this stuff. Great. I'm going to tell you what you need to do today, first week, get up and running, the main things you're going to use right now, okay? The other stuff you can go explore later. Does that make sense? So when you log in, and so for those of you guys taking notes, everyone should write down, I'm only going to highlight about 7 things that you need to set up today, okay? So the first things we're going to do is over here on the left-hand side, okay? You're going to open up My Business. This is the CFO side of your business. I'm not even going to open and show it to you because it doesn't matter. This is where you're going to be able to look at your revenue share, your transactions. You don't have to enter anything. This is all your money side of your business is kept here. Okay. This will automatically pull from SkySlope. So you at all times can manage your open escrows, your active listings, your closings, like your P&L, where are you at on pace, what you've paid in for the year, your breakdown on every single transaction. All of that is kept right here. I don't need to show any of you guys because when you log in, you're all going to see zeros because you're brand new to the company. Okay. All of that is tracked right here. Okay. Under My Transactions, all of it's done here. What I want you to do today, or when you first get your account activated, is I want you to jump down here. So write these 2 down. I want you to update My Agent Profile and My Expert Profile. Okay. These are 2 separate things. One is going to be your profile within eXp. One is going to be on the dashboard when people look you up for referral business, or another eXp agent's looking for someone in Toronto, looking for someone in New York, looking for someone in Seattle, right? They're going to look you up here, and this is where they can find your background. So go into My Agent Profile. I'll show you what that looks like. And just spend 5 minutes. This is where you attach your headshot. You're going to make sure all your information is correct. Okay, so this is just for eXp. You go over here to email when you're in your My Agent Profile, and this is where you can change your forwarding email. So if right now it's going to your Yahoo account, you need to go to your domain, you go make that change right here. It'll immediately change that. Okay. But this is just like basic contact information, your profile within eXp as a person. Make sure this is up to date. Okay. And then My Expert Profile, this is what other people see when they're looking you up within eXp. So if I was to go look for an agent right now in Austin, Texas, okay, this is where I would look, and they're going to see this information. So this is where you can plug in a bio about yourself. This is where you can plug in your social media. Okay. Again, your headshot, this basic information. So just spend the 5 minutes to update both of those accounts so they're not blank. Okay. The third thing, okay, so go ahead. I'm going to collapse My Business. The third thing that everyone needs to do day one that you can log into your accounts, okay, is you're going to go right here to optional services. Everyone see where I'm at with my cursor? So you're going to go here to optional services. Okay. Your KV Core account is built in. This is all built in. It's at no cost to you, built into everything in your compensation model, but it's going to be the first thing you see here with a big green sign up button. Okay. So I need everyone to click the sign up button, because even though your KV Core is built in, Renee, it's not live. This is your website. This is your IDX feed. This is all these marketing tools that we're going to be going through in the next couple of weeks. Okay. All sorts of stuff you guys are going to do, but you have to activate your account. It'll say it takes 7 to 10 business days. It really takes about 2 to 3. Okay. So you need to activate this ASAP. So go in here to optional services, click the green sign up button. It's going to confirm what MLS feed you're on. Okay. So it just confirms whatever you signed up as. Okay. Because then once you hit sign up, it's now going to take the couple of days to activate your website. All your stuff will go active, and you'll get a big welcome email. It says, Renee, welcome to KV Core. And then you go log in now with your eXp email. Make sense, everyone? Do not miss this step, because it takes a few days. So you've got to activate it immediately. Okay. That's all we need to do on the left-hand side. Okay. So now I'm back on my home dashboard. Here's what you need to write down that you're going to go log into. So I'm scrolling down through all these tiles. Step 1 is SkySlope. Has anyone on here in this group already used SkySlope before? It's a third-party paperless pipeline system for your transactions. Yes? A couple of people have? Or I heard at least one voice.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I have.
Yeah, I used already. Yeah.
very easy to use. So the few of you guys that have already used this, it's the same thing, because you're going to log in now and you're in SkySlope. Okay. For the rest of you guys, I'm just going to show, I'm not going to teach you how to use it. I'm going to show you a couple of things you need to know being now with eXp. Okay. Those of you guys that have transaction coordinators, they'd be doing all of this for you. Okay. But SkySlope. So again, step number 1, write this down. You need to make sure you can log into it. Here's a tip. I access everything through my enterprise. Okay. I don't go log into SkySlope over here. I log into my enterprise and I do everything from here. Okay. And make all of your logins the same. So when you log in, It's always with your eXp email. And I would make, whether it's SkySlope, KV Core, Marketing Center, your overall login to enterprise, just sync everything the same. Make your life easier. Okay. Put it all the same password, everything the same when you set it up. If you have issues with anything, when in doubt, put in your eXp email, hit forget password. You can reset it right there on the spot. You don't got to go fumble around. Just get yourself in and set up immediately. Okay. So you're going to log into SkySlope. And again, this is how you turn in your transactions to your brokerage. Okay. It's pretty self-explanatory. All the trainings in the world for SkySlope are done through eXp, which I'll show you guys how you access the trainings. But it's pretty simple. You either create a new transaction or create a new listing, and you put in your deals. It links to the MLS, all that fun stuff. Once they're in, now I can always just go manage my deals, all that jazz. Okay. Here's what you need to know. Okay. It's really simple, by the way. It is a really visual checklist. So whether you're turning in a personal deal, a multifamily deal, a land deal, it's going to tell you exactly what you need and required for that transaction. The transaction team is going to communicate with you live. Writing your contracts doesn't change, guys. So most of us were linked through, like, whether it's our transaction desk through the MLS to do our authenticating signing and stuff like that. In different markets, people do things different ways. Really, nothing changes. It's all your normal standard state forms. Write your deals, sign your listing contracts. This is just where you turn them in. Okay. And then you'll be able to put all your documents in. They do have a digital signature platform in here, and you can, like, put contracts and stuff like that in here, but none of you will do that, right? You just write contracts as normal as you're already doing. Is everyone following me? So really nothing changes. This is just where you turn it in. Here's what you do need to know. Okay. 1, how you get paid. And 2, the 2 required documents through eXp for your client side only. Okay. I'm going to show you exactly where to get them so you can go get them today. Save them to your desktop. It's the same generic form, no matter where you are. Okay. It's the same 2 forms. So when you write your deals, guys, it's normal contracts per your state, nothing changes, but there's 2 forms. Okay. 1, and I'm going to show you where they are. So when you're logged in on your home screen, just write this down so you can reference it. Go to working documents. It's on the bottom right here. You're going to go to Office Docs because it defaults to personal. Okay. Because you can load stuff in here. So I'm going to go over to Office Docs. And you can either click on your state, or it's all going to be right here. So the 2 forms is going to be your wire fraud advisory and your affiliated business disclosure, because at eXp, we own all of our ancillaries. So again, regardless if you ever use them or not, we have to disclose that we own those other ancillaries. Okay. So it's your wire fraud, and then it's your ancillary. So I would go grab those today. So you'll see them right here. I'll go ahead and open it up. Again, it's the same form generically across the board for everybody. Just so you're not surprised if you guys go turn a deal in this next week, they are going to ask for these. So it's the wire fraud, just needs to be signed by your client only. Okay. And then it's the affiliated business disclosure, the ABA. Same document for everybody. It just discloses the ownership of the other platforms that we own. Okay. Again, just needs to be signed by your client. You will see these in the checklist of what's required as you guys turn in deals. So save those on wherever you guys do your forms and whatever you do, so you have them ready to go. Okay. All right. That's all you need to know on forms. The other things you might want is, like, if you're looking for, I'll just say this now, might kind of go over your guys' head, but if anyone that does referrals, or you do a lot of referral business where you're collecting a referral fee back, make sure you're using the eXp Realty referral agreement for your state. So you find that all in here, the same thing, right? Working documents, Office Docs. Go into your state and just click through till you find the referral agreement, because it's going to be different in California than it is for Washington, than it is in Toronto, than it is in Texas. Okay. Because you're collecting that referral fee from Banana Boat Real Estate Company, and they're collecting it in this giant, platform. So it has to go to a specific place. So make sure you guys download your referral agreement. So, like, here it is, right? It's going to have very specific instructions to the other party in escrow where that money goes. Okay. This is specific per market. So this is just an FYI. When in doubt, ask and we'll guide you. But in case someone has this come up, I want you guys to know this now. Zohar, go ahead. Do you have a question?
We have the FinTech here in Canada. In addition to the FinTech, we had to fill these fire fraud and ancillary forms. Is that correct?
Yes, you should have the same. You'll have the same disclosure forms that are generic, and same with the referral agreement, right? So these are just things that are to be aware of that are specific. The rest is just going to be your normal market stuff. Nothing changes. But the referral fees, most of you guys will ask at months later when this happens to you. But in case one of you guys has this coming up, just be aware they can't just mail a check to whatever addresses on your license. eXp is too big, right? It goes to one central place where they collect your referral fees and process it from there. So just make sure you're using the company internal referral agreement. All right, so outside of forms, really the only other thing you need to know outside of going through the training yourself, because there's some like tricks and little fancy things you can do. All that's great. How you get paid, okay? eXp doesn't process your money unless it was like a referral that came in. That's different, okay? They don't process your money. You get paid out of escrow, okay? So Renee, eXp's closing team, your deals just need to be in escrow, or sorry, in SkySlope so they can see it. So 10 days or so out from closing, they're going to prep that closing disclosure, right? The commission disbursement, the commission demand, and we all call it something different, okay? They're going to prep that. They're going to send it to escrow with UCC'd with the net breakdown of this much to you, this much to eXp, okay? So you'll have time to look at it, ask questions. Maybe you had a last minute change with a concession in your deal or whatever, or the price. If anything needs to change, you have time to go back and forth with the closing team, right? To make those adjustments. But here's what's going to happen. The commission disbursement is going to come from eXp. They're going to have the breakdown of net amount to each one, and you get paid by escrow. So you get paid same day directly from escrow, and you communicate with them, whether you're going to be couriered a check, you're going to pick it up, they're going to direct deposit. You just set that up with them. You're getting paid directly by them at closing. Does that make sense to you guys?
Oh yeah.
So some of you guys, you haven't dealt, you had a big process at your company, whatever it is. eXp is not processing your money. You are paid by escrow, and you can coordinate with them to have yourself paid however you want. Okay.
Fantastic.
Well, any questions from anybody? And I'll show you guys also where to communicate and find everyone. So, okay. So that's SkySlope, right? Easy enough. Let me close out on my hundreds of tabs. So that's, that's SkySlope that you guys need to know. The next one I want you to write down is KV Core. But again, we're not going to talk about KV Core today because all of you guys need to activate your accounts first. Okay. So again, same logins, same everything, but here's where you go into that platform. And this will be, we'll talk about this in a couple of weeks, whether you use it for the full service smart CRM that it is or not. There's a lot of major marketing tools that you will use in the system. And that's what I'll cover with you guys in a couple of weeks. So get your account set up, get your logins, and make sure you can just at least access the system. Okay. The next thing I want to show you, who has already downloaded the world? Anyone on here? So a few of you
Yeah, I
guys.
have.
Okay. So if you have not, one of the first things you'll want to do, and I'm not going to tell you anything about the world, we'll do that next week, like why it's useful and what it's effective for. Okay. But I just want you to download it. So you got to spend it's probably going to be about at least 20 minutes, okay, maybe even more your first time, because you have to download this giant platform that's going to go as an icon on your laptop or your desktop, okay, or both. You're going to download this giant platform, and then you got to create your avatar, okay? So it's probably going to take you a half hour. So just set aside that time, download the application. In the future, once it's downloaded, now it's one click away, you're in the world, and we'll talk about what in the world you're going to do there, okay, next week. But just get it downloaded and set up. That's all you guys need to do, okay? So that's item number 3 on your main dashboard here. FYI for your stock accounts, it won't matter this second, but they're all automatically tracked, managed right here from ShareWorks. Okay. So as you get awarded your stock awards for just doing what you're doing anyways, they send it out. You'll get a notification once a month. So when you have any stock awards, you get notified, they drop into your stock account. This is where you can see it. You can manage it. You can literally sell them on the spot. You can transfer and you can sell them and get deposited directly into your account, like literally the next day, all through here through your ShareWorks account. So just FYI, at the moment, you guys won't see anything. But once you start to get, even once you do your first deal, you guys are going to start to see your stock accounts build up right here. Okay, looking at the time here. Next item I want you guys to write down is the eXp education calendar. You don't need to log in for this, but I want to show you what you're working with, okay? So this is eXp's training calendar. Not CoFounders is totally different. We are all hands-on, sales, production based. This is eXp's training calendar. There's probably 50 to 60 hours of live training being done all the time. Okay, guys. Now here's what you're working with that's important. On the right-hand side, this is going to be market specific. Okay. Let me close this out, whatever's popping up here for me. Accept. Okay. So on the right-hand side, can you guys all see my screen fine?
Yes.
This is market specific. Now, the reason this is important, okay, is whatever state you're in does a state update like your normal broker meeting every single week. This is where you're hearing law changes, form changes, MLS changes and updates, you know, that kind of stuff for your local marketplace, whether you're in Arizona, whether you're in Texas, whether you're in Toronto, like wherever in the world you're at, there's going to be different things that are going on in the technical compliance legal world with you. This is where you get your broker state. So you're going to see every state has a state weekly meeting. It's less than 30 minutes. So like, I know Washington's is on Wednesdays at 9:30. That's like, I just know that, right? So here it is. Now, here's the deal. This is the training calendar. Everything eXp does is done in the world. Okay. So when I click on this, it's going to tell me where to go inside of eXp world. I'll show you guys all that stuff next week. Doesn't matter. But here's where you stay up to date with what's happening. Does that make sense? So you need to go in here and find your market and like what makes sense for you. Okay. Anyone have any questions? And then the second thing that's state specific is going to be your contracts classes. So anyone that is either is new to the business and or is newer, and or if you bring, like Renee, if you bring newer people in, they should kind of get this by default through like the mentorship and stuff like that. But the contract classes for your marketplace, that's all done over here. So if someone's new, they need to plug into everything else as normal, but they need to immediately be dove into like the Washington state contract classes as an example. Okay. So just that's what's over here. That's state specific. Okay. On the left is everything else. So like, I know this week they're launching a full commercial certification workshop. They do that almost once a month. Okay. This is on branding, leadership, growth, icon agents, Airbnbs, investments, sales skills, lead generation, like how to use SkySlope, like anything you could possibly think of. There's constant training being done. There's a lot. So here's what I would suggest for you guys. All these trainings are done live in the world. There's a ton of different content on all sorts of stuff. Okay. What I would do is this is something, and it's always built out way in advance. So I would go in and look at this once a month, Renee, right? Maybe once a week. And I would kind of skim to see, you might see something that's like, oh, like that's important to me. Like, I want to go to that, right? I really want to take that commercial certification coming up, you know, next month, or I want to really take that Airbnb investment class coming up in next week, right? Or I want to do whatever, right? So you might flag that on your schedule coming up in a couple of weeks, right? That's what I would do with this, because there's so much content on everything under the sun. You can go on here and kind of pick out something that might be relevant to you to block out. And again, when I go to this, right? So I'm just going to pick something. It'll tell me where, and this one happens to be on a Google Meet, but most of these are going to be somewhere in the world, right? So like content creators, right? This is obviously for like social media. It's going to tell me where I go in eXp world, which this will make sense once you guys see eXp world. Okay. So it tells you kind of where to click on the map to go to do that live class. Any questions on this, guys? This is eXp training. There's a lot of information. You just got to know what you're working with so you can jump into stuff if you want to. Okay. All right. I'm moving on from here. The next thing I want you guys to write down, I've only got 2 more left, at least on this screen, is your marketing center. Okay. Works just like SkySlope, KV Core, everything else. It's going to bring me to another platform. Make sure you can log in. That's the most important thing. So go to your marketing center. Now you have a graphics designer built in with us through CoFounders. That's for helping you create your custom marketing materials, your custom branding, your initial stuff to move forward with. Okay. Everything else, once you're logged in. So I'm just going to make sure I'm logged in because I've updated all my information. I can log in. Everything's here. Everything's already branded to me. So anything you can think of 24/7, okay, you already have access to, right? Whether this is all your normal stuff, right? Cards, signs, flyers, postcards, social media, home seller tips, home buyer tips, video, blogs, newsletters, door hangers, event material, blah, 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 Spanish material, Renee, right? On and on and on and on, okay? All of this is already here. All of it's branded. All of it's ready to go. So I'll just use postcards as an example, okay? So I need an open house flyer right now, and it's Saturday night, and I got an open house tomorrow morning. You just jump in here. You can print this at your house. You can order it to be shipped out. You can do whatever. You can post it directly to social media, right? You can save the digital version. You can do whatever you need at your fingertips 24/7, okay? So any of you guys that come from big companies, you probably had some kind of a marketing platform built in. Those of you that didn't, you're not used to stuff like this, right? But this is all built in, okay? Everything's at your fingertips. And I'll give you an example. So if I click in here to like, I need to send out a just listed postcard, okay? I'm going to go ahead and click into here. It's automatically all branded to me. So I'm just going to like pick one. Really, it doesn't really matter what it is, okay? So here's what's cool about this. Okay, this is very, very simple. It's all already branded to me. Okay, up here on the left, right? Up here on the left, it does an MLS lookup. So any active or pending listing I have, Renee, I just plug in the MLS number. It's going to already link it. So I can just go pick the one photo that I want or the 3 photos that I want. It's very, very simple. It already pulls in everything. You don't need to really you don't need a graphics designer. You don't need any of that stuff, right? And then from here, I can simply download it and save it. I can automatically print and ship it out. It'll pull the list for me. I can upload a custom list. Done, hit a button. I've now sent out my postcard. Okay. All of this is here built in. Your assistant can do this. You can be doing this. Again, a flyer, a door, anything you need. Most all of those materials already exist here. And it's like plug and play, super, super simple. Download it, save it at your house, post it onto social media right from there. It's all built in. Any questions on that? This is stuff you guys will be using right away. So make sure.
What's the name of that site?
That's Marketing Center. So,
Marketing's okay.
so
Gotcha.
to recap really quick, because I'm only going to do the last one next, okay, is on the left-hand side under my business, you're going to update my agent profile and my expert profile. Under optional tools, you're going to activate your KV core. So that's 3 items, right? On your main dashboard here, you're going to set up your SkySlope. KV core is kind of part of that setup you just did, okay? You're going to download the world. Education calendar is really just to check out. You're going to set up your marketing center, meaning make sure you can log in. All these take additional logins, right? So set up and log into your marketing center. This is the stuff you'll be using today. Okay. And then the final one is going to be Workplace down here. Who's used Workplace before?
Yeah, I
Dylan,
believe
you
I
have?
have.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Carla, you have? Anyone else used Workplace before? So Workplace is going to be really important in your new company you're with. Okay. Because so everything I'm showing you guys right now, right? This is eXp's dashboard. This is your brokerage that you're working within, okay? So Workplace is your business version of, I don't know what it's wanting me to accept here. So that black bar can go away. Anyways, I'm too impatient for that. So anyways, go into your Workplace, okay? Same thing, make sure you can log in. This is going to be all logged in with your same logins. This is like Facebook. You want to download this onto your phone. It's an app, okay? And I'll tell you what's important in here. So make sure you write down these few things. It's super, super important that you go in and you get set up and you know where to go to for what, okay? So it's going to look and feel very similar to Facebook, right? Because it's owned by Facebook. It's the business version of Facebook. When you think about how eXp's broker team and everyone communicates in this giant single brokerage across the world, right? We do that efficiently through Workplace, okay? I will show you in the world next week how you walk in and just talk to live someone with me at any given time, to your broker in charge, right? To accounting, to tech support, to just agents, whatever you want, okay? I'll show you that next week, but Workplace is going to actually do a lot of this for you, and it's all just right here in front of you, okay? So you want to log in. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to make sure you're part of your marketplace, okay? So for me, I'm in 2 markets. So I'm in the Arizona state group and the Washington state group. So whatever your market you're in, go ahead and search for it. Make sure you are in that state group, okay? There's other stuff you can be part of, like the referral group. I get like all the updates for what's going on at eXp. So I see like new technology updates and stuff like that. Other than that, I kind of don't care, right? I'm part of the state groups, and here's why, okay? So you're going to go to your state group. I'm just going to use this one as an example. Once you're logged in, spend a few minutes, guys. I'm showing you this now. You have to, even if you don't need what's in here tomorrow, you have to kind of log in and just spend 5-10 minutes poking around to get that muscle memory. Otherwise, it's just going to go in one ear and out the other. That's kind of how it goes, right? Everything I've shown you today, you should walk yourself through so you know how to get to it. This is all stuff you will be using in the immediate and very near future, okay? I'm not showing you outside stuff. So whatever marketplace you're in, go to that group, okay? You should already be a member. If not, you can click to join it, okay? Go up here to the first banner, right? This is going to show you your broker team, okay? So this is every marketplace only has 1 designated broker and then a managing broker team. Depending on how large your marketplace is, there could be 10 plus sub-managing brokers. All have the same role, but it's so you can have instant access to support, okay? But there's always 1 DB, because there can only be 1 DB, and a whole bunch of sub-managing brokers, and everyone kind of has the same authorities to help navigate your deals, do signatures, all that kind of stuff, okay? So just keep in mind, if you're in a big market like Texas, like California, you'll literally see like 10, 15, 20 managing brokers, and that's because you should be able to walk in and talk to somebody instantaneously. Other marketplaces, you're going to see like 2 or 3. Does that make sense? But here's where you get there. And these are normal people that you're talking to, you're communicating with. Every marketplace will have a broker, a email address. So again, it's so you can have a very quick return when you need a signature on, that whatever form, or you're just trying to ask a question, whatever. You're going to have an alias you go into. Okay. They're going to have office hours where they're sitting in the world and you just walk in and talk to them. The rest of the time, you're just talking to them normal, right? They're real people in your marketplace. But go in and just know who you're working with, know who your broker is, that kind of a thing. Okay. Now, what I want you to log into when you're in here is you're going to be on your state group and you're going to go to more. So write this down. You're going to go to more and you're going to go to pinned posts. Okay. What this does is it's taking what's relevant to your marketplace and information you need to know, and it's opening you up to that pinned post. It's at the very top because it's like Facebook, right? So if I go out of the pinned post, it's just like compounds of information. This is everybody in your marketplace. Okay. So if I go out of pinned post and just go to normal posts, again, like Facebook, this is where you have access to everybody and anything. This is events going on. This is someone saying, hey, does anyone know of a house cleaner over here? Is anyone in Ellensburg? Does anyone know a stager? Does anyone have this? Does anyone know that? I need this. Here's the thing we got going on here. There's all sorts of stuff that you guys can be looped into or communicate with. I'm looking for help. I'm looking for someone to hold an open house for me tomorrow. I need a stager, whatever. This is all the agents in your marketplace within all of eXp. Okay. That's a communication board for you to everyone else. The pinned post though, so you're going to go more pinned posts. You're going to have to click see more because it'll open up this big thing. This is an information board for you specific to your local marketplace. Okay. Again, log in, just kind of poke around for 5 minutes because you might not need this today, but guess who you're going to ask when you have the question? Where do I get the W-9? What's our E&O declaration page? What's the broker's license number, right? How do I process a referral fee here? All this kind of stuff, it's all in here, right? What's the HUD NAID? This is all stuff that at some point in time, you're going to want to know. It's all built in here. So any of that kind of stuff you're looking for, it's all here. Okay. And also those forms we were talking about in SkySlope, they should all be in here as well, right? That wire fraud, the ABA, all that kind of content will be built in here. So you just log in, pop in, you can grab the company's W-9, you can grab our E&O declaration page, you can grab the broker's license number. This is all stuff that I get questions on all the time. It's all here. Any questions on this? Now, the last thing that I will say on this, okay, is I'll teach you how to navigate the world and how to have that instant communication line with people that you need to, okay? Your chat group inside of Workplace is awesome, okay? And this is where you'll see me talking live with like the broker, the onboarder for kind of the main markets I onboard people in constantly. I'm just texting with them all day, morning, evenings. It's the easiest way for me to communicate with them. Okay. So the reason I bring that up, let me go back to our state group, is once you know who you're dealing with, because you're always, Renee, you're going to be emailing your broker email alias, right? You go into the world and you're just going to click the button to talk to the broker and you're sitting with one of them, right? Like instantly. All of that's great. But once you know who your closer is on your deals, right? Once you know your broker, like even though I have multiple brokers, but I have kind of the one that I talk to all the time. I have the onboarding coordinator for Washington State that I talk to all the time. I'm just texting with them morning. Like I don't have to log in. I don't have to go anywhere. I'm just messaging with them from my phone. Can I get an update on this? Can you look up Renee for me? Right? Little stuff like that. When you know who you're talking to, this right here over texting or emailing them or calling them, because their business world operates out of Workplace. Okay. So that's just a little tip to you guys. Fastest, easiest, most efficient way outside of everything else is just direct messaging them through Workplace Messenger. It's just like texting them directly because this is their business world. I talk to them all through here unless I need to go in because it's way faster. It's way more efficient. It's easy. Okay. So that's just little pointers once you guys know you're doing.
Quick question, Michelle. So even though it's a Facebook platform, we still have to be inside eXp World to access this, correct?
Workplace, I mean, these are all technically, this is outside of the world. Sorry. So everything I'm showing you guys so far has nothing to do with the world. This has nothing to do with the virtual world. This is all like URL based hub. Workplace happens to be an app, right? Or as you can see on my desktop, I'm just accessing it directly through Enterprise. Everything you do is going to be right here through Enterprise, which is just expenterprise.com. This is your hub, meaning this is your day-to-day. Like the world is something you're only going to go into once in a blue moon. Okay. And I'll talk about that next week. This is your day-to-day doing deals, accessing resources you need, even communicating with people through Workplace, which is the fastest way to do it, in my opinion, because it's just shooting a text message, right? This is your day-to-day. This is, I'm in my email, I'm in my MLS, I'm in my back office of eXp. Your whole world kind of operates here. Does that make sense to you guys? The world is totally separate, nothing to do with this. And I'll highlight the world next week because there's a purpose for that, which I'll talk about.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So who else has questions? I know I just gave you guys a lot of information, but does this kind of help like narrow it for you? Like those 7 or 8 things I covered is honestly all that you need to do right now to be operational. Everything else you can go explore at your leisure. Go into CoFounders, start working through the onboarding process. Okay. I will make sure manually you guys get all of the CoFounders training calendar. And then once the other half of you guys that don't have your enterprise yet, you should be getting those this week. So if you need anything, reach out to me, but this should help give you a play-by-play of what you need to do. Every class we do, we record and it gets put into the Facebook group. So you guys will see this in there probably within the next couple of hours. So today, tomorrow, the next day, you guys can like navigate yourself through it when you get your accounts and just do that play, pause, walk through, log into all of your accounts once, get everything set, poke around, and you're going to be good to go. Okay. Any questions before we end here? Claudia, I see you raised a hand. Who has questions?
Oh, I do as well.
Okay, go ahead.
Michelle. So, because obviously, I guess I'm a weird case probably compared to people in here. I've been at eXp before.
Mhm.
So when I come back, I still have to like, do I need to reactivate my KV core and all that kind of stuff?
So
Or,
how long were you, let me ask this, how long were you gone?
6 months.
So it's probably all eliminated and it'll all be new again. So likely you will have to activate it all again. You can go in, when you go in, because you've been there before, you can probably go right into the world and go to Agent Concierge and even ask them, because there might be some stuff they can restore. Usually that happens when you're here, when you've been gone only like 90 days. I
Yeah.
think at 6 months, kind of everything is reset, but I would still go in because you've been here before, go in and just to find out, because you might have some stuff that they restore versus just starting from scratch, possibly. So I
Okay.
would go in and ask that question.
Okay.
Michelle, is there a team agreement? Like a private, like do you have a template for a team agreement?
There is, and that's for setting up actual traditional teams, right? Angelina, that's what you're asking. So I do have the template for that, but where you go to for that is, I'm giving you guys the manual invite to the calendar right now. Is you're going to contact for Angelina, for you, the Washington broker. So wa.broker@exprealty.net. Let them know that you're ready to set up your traditional team. They'll set you up with the team person. And actually I have that, if you message me directly when I'm done with stuff today, I can get it to you directly. And what they do is they'll set you up and they create your custom traditional team agreement right there with you. And so it's a separate team person that puts it all together. But if you just want the template to check out, because it's not going to be custom to what your team, you would have your own arrangement, of course. I have just the generic template. If that's what you're looking for. If you're not ready to do a team, I'm not. So depending on what you want, just text me directly and I'll set you up. Okay, so I think I've got everyone that dropped their email into the link. I just sent those out for the calendar. So you guys will get that manual invite right now. Any other questions?
You mentioned that there's things to create, flyers, open house.
Mhm.
Is there, do we have to pay to print them? Is there a charge?
That's a great question. So anything that you guys do that's going to require you to like print or like manufacture your open house signs, right? Or you're going to print like 50 pages of like high laminate brochures at your high-end listing or whatever it is, or you're printing a flyer at your house, you'd be paying for those manufacturing costs. But the actual, like our graphic designer, that's all free. That platform, you can design, create, everything's there. Anything that's digital that you're just posting online or saving it, right, digitally, that's all, there's no cost. But when you do go to send, for example, your postcards, the cost is just going to be in that postage, right? And that's all kind of baked in and it's all right there as you're doing it. Does that answer that question? So the actual postage or manufacturing cost, are paying for that. Everything else is built in.
So any printing, it's on.
Correct. Any printing will be on you. All right. Any other questions, guys? Anything? Okay. Was this helpful?
Oh, yes.
Okay. I know it's a
That
lot of
really
information.
helped.
You will find it recorded. Hopefully we've got you guys plugged in. I'll talk more about the launch call next week. If anyone on here is itching and is like, I'm ready to do that launch call with you and Cooley, just ping me and I'll set you up. Okay. But otherwise I'll probably talk about it all with you guys next week as I kind of dive into the next layer of things and just get you guys set up. Don't hesitate to ask questions, but just kind of start navigating through the process.
Awesome. Thank you, Michelle.
You are welcome.